It was an ordinary day on the outskirts of a small, rural town, the kind of place where time seemed to slow down. Farmers tended to their fields, the scent of freshly tilled soil filled the air, and life was peaceful, if not a little monotonous. For old Thomas, a weathered farmer whose face was etched with the lines of countless seasons, the day began like any other. He woke with the sunrise, fed his chickens, and headed out to his field to tend to his corn crop. His overalls were worn and faded, his boots caked with dirt from years of use. He was a man of the land, humble and hard-working, never asking for more than what his soil could provide. But today was different. A distant hum of engines shattered the usual serenity. The sound grew louder, and soon, a convoy of black SUVs emerged from the dusty road. The vehicles, sleek and menacing, kicked up clouds of dirt as they approached. The convoy rolled to a halt at the edge of Thomas's property, and from the lead car emerged none other than former President Donald Trump. He was flanked by a team of stern-faced security personnel in dark suits and sunglasses. Thomas squinted against the sun, bewildered. Why on earth would a man like Trump be visiting his modest farm? Word had spread that Trump was on a tour of rural America, rallying support for his new campaign. But no one expected him to stop here, at this forgotten corner of the heartland. The townsfolk, hearing the commotion, gathered at a distance, watching curiously. Cameras followed Trump as he strode forward, his familiar red tie swaying in the breeze. He wasn't smiling. In fact, he looked angry, very angry. A clash of worlds. Thomas wiped his hands on his overalls and stepped forward, his heart pounding in his chest. Trump's voice cut through the air like a knife. "Is this your land?" he demanded, his tone sharp. Thomas, though confused, nodded. "Been in my family for generations, sir." Trump's expression didn't soften. "Do you have any idea what you're standing on?" he barked. "This land, your land, happens to sit on top of one of the largest untapped oil reserves in the state. Billions of dollars worth." Thomas blinked in disbelief. Oil. Here. He'd heard rumors of companies sniffing around, but he never thought much of it. This was his home, his life. It wasn't for sale. "I'm not interested in oil," Thomas said calmly. "I'm a farmer. This land grows food, not fuel." Trump's face reddened. "You're sitting on a gold mine, and you're worried about corn. You could be a millionaire, maybe more. I'm offering you a deal, the kind of deal people dream about." Thomas shook his head. "Money's not everything. This land is more than dirt to me. It's my family's legacy." The crowd murmured in awe. Trump stared at him, speechless for a moment. He wasn't used to hearing, "No." A lesson in value. Trump's voice lowered, though the anger still simmered beneath. "You're a fool if you think sentiment is worth more than a fortune." Thomas's eyes narrowed. "Maybe to you, Mr. Trump, land is just a business transaction. But to me, it's life. My father died working this land. My mother raised us here. It's not for sale, not for any price." The former president scoffed, but something in Thomas's voice gave him pause. This wasn't the usual kind of opposition he faced. This wasn't politics or business. This was a man protecting his soul. Thomas gestured around. "Look at this place. The air, the sky, the crops. You think money can replace this? When was the last time you stood in a field and felt the earth between your fingers?" Trump didn't answer. He stared at Thomas, and for a fleeting second, something flickered behind his eyes, recognition, perhaps even respect. The turning point. The standoff seemed unbreakable, until a young boy, no older than 10, emerged from the crowd. He ran to Thomas and grabbed his hand. "Grandpa," the boy said softly, "don't let them take our home." The tension broke like a snapped rope. Trump glanced at the boy, then back at Thomas. His expression shifted. He wasn't looking at a farmer anymore. He was looking at a grandfather protecting his family's future. Something softened in Trump's demeanor. His voice, though still gruff, lost its edge. "You love this place that much?" he asked, almost rhetorically. Thomas nodded. "More than life itself." An unexpected proposal. The crowd held its breath as Trump considered his next words. "All right," he said finally, "I get it. But I don't walk away empty-handed." Thomas braced himself, expecting another push for a deal. Trump smirked. "You keep your farm. But how about this? I'll fund a state-of-the-art irrigation system, new equipment, and whatever else you need to make this the most successful farm in the county. No strings attached." The crowd erupted in surprised whispers. Thomas stared at him, unsure if he heard right. Why would you do that? Trump shrugged. Because sometimes, legacy means more than money. The farmer's victory. Thomas's eyes misted. He extended his calloused hand. Trump took it without hesitation, shaking firmly. The crowd cheered. A new beginning. In the weeks that followed, true to his word, Trump's team delivered. Thomas's farm flourished like never before. The town's revival. Inspired by the gesture, the entire town saw new life. Local businesses got attention and support. The little town, once forgotten, became a symbol of resilience. The farmer's wisdom. Thomas, though grateful, remained the same humble man. He knew wealth wasn't in dollars, it was in roots, memories, and the future he built for his grandson. The legacy lives on. Years later, people still told the story of the day a farmer taught a billionaire the true meaning of value. And at the heart of it all was an old man, his family, and a farm that grew more than just crops, it grew a legacy.